This is an audiobook created by Subconscious Key Studio. Welcome to this space, to this moment. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, just for now, let it be. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing. I want you to take a breath, a deep, conscious breath. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, I want you to simply listen to the sounds around you, the distant hum, the closer sounds, the sound of your own presence here. Can you feel it? Beneath the surface of things, a subtle, persistent vibration. A low-grade static of worry, of want, of endless scrolling. It's a feeling of being perpetually busy, yet somehow not truly occupied. Of being connected to thousands, yet feeling deeply alone. This is the soundtrack of our modern cave. 2,500 years ago, the philosopher Plato imagined a group of prisoners, chained from birth deep inside a cavern. They cannot turn their heads. All they see are shadows cast on a wall in front of them by a fire behind them. These shadows are their entire reality. They name them, they discuss them, they predict their movements. If one of them were freed and forced to turn around, the light of the fire would hurt his eyes. The real objects casting the shadows would seem less real than the shadows themselves. He would be confused, in pain. He would want to return to the comfort of the shadows. And if he were dragged further up and out of the cave, into the blinding light of the sun, the disorientation would be total. It would be agony. We are those prisoners. The flickering glow of our screens, the curated lives, the endless news cycles, the chase for status and possessions, these are our shadows. We are convinced of their substance. We build our identities and our anxieties upon them. It is safe here. It is known. But what if you are one of the ones who feels a tug, a deep, restless unease in the dead of night? A sense that there must be more to life than this endless chase. What if you hear a whisper, a call from beyond the mouth of the cave? This story is about that call. It is a story about the courage to have your chains loosen, to turn your head, and to begin the arduous climb out of the cave of illusion. It is about seeking the light, but this is only the first half of the journey. Many spiritual traditions stop here. They speak of enlightenment, of nirvana, of liberation as a final, blissful state to be achieved. A sun-drenched peak to be reached, alone. Our story today is about the second, and perhaps more profound, half of the journey. The return. Because seeing the sun is one thing. It is glorious, transformative. But what do you do with that vision? Do you stay on the mountain top, basking in your own understanding? Or do you, feeling a responsibility you never asked for, a compassion that aches in your bones, turn your back on the sun and walk back into the darkness, back into the cave, not as a prisoner, but as a guide, not to live in the shadows again, but to help others see them for what they are. This is the great pivot. This is where our story from ancient Greece meets an ancient, profound answer from the wisdom of the East. It is the path of the Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva is a being who is dedicated to awakening, not for themselves alone, but for the benefit of all that lives. It is said that upon the very threshold of total enlightenment, upon feeling the sun's full warmth on their face, upon tasting final, irreversible peace, they pause. They make a vow. A vow so beautiful, so vast, so logically impossible, that it can only come from the deepest well of the heart. They vow to forgo their own final nirvana until every last being, every prisoner in every cave, in every world, is free alongside them. This is the map for what to do when you see the light. This is the path we will walk together for the next 2 hours. Let us sit, truly sit, with this vow. Let its words not just be heard, but felt. Let them resonate in the silence between your heartbeats. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Let's feel the weight of that first line, like the weight of the entire sky. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Consider the number, not 100, not 1,000,000, not 1,000,000,000, numberless. An infinity of suffering creatures. From the ant crushed under a boot to the CEO weeping in a pent office, from the forgotten to the famous, across all species, all worlds, all time. The vow is to save them all. The rational mind, the mind that lives in the cave, recoils. It's absurd. It's the ultimate exercise in futility. It's like vowing to empty the ocean with a single spoon. How can you possibly save everyone? You can't even manage your own inbox. You have your own anxieties, your own heartbreaks, your own tangled history. The sheer, monstrous scale of it is enough to make you shut down, to retreat back into the comfortable, manageable shadows of your own small life. I'll just focus on myself. That's enough. This is the first great paradox of the path. The vow is not a goal to be achieved, like climbing a mountain and planting a flag at the summit. If it were, it would be the surest recipe for despair. No, the vow is a direction in which to orient your entire life. It is a compass set to true north. You will never reach north, but you can walk in its direction forever. The vow is about the quality of the walking, not the illusion of arrival. It is a commitment to the path itself. Let us now give this journey a face, a heart. Let's meet Alex. Alex is like many of us. They go through the motions. They have a job, maybe a family, a circle of friends. But inside, Alex feels a hollow space. They see the shadows on the wall, the promotions, the new cars, the perfect vacations on social media, and they chase them. But the fulfillment is always fleeting, like drinking salt water. They've had glimpses, though, moments where the chain around their neck felt loose. A walk in the woods where time seemed to stop. A piece of music that transported them. Holding a newborn and feeling a love so vast it was terrifying. In one of these moments, they stumble upon the Bodhisattva vow. And their first reaction is not inspiration, but a profound sense of inadequacy. Who am I to take on such a thing? The voice in their head whispers. I'm a mess. I'm impatient. I get jealous. I'm struggling to save myself, let alone everyone else. This is for spiritual giants, for saints in robes, not for someone like me, with my flaws and my past. This is the voice of the cave, the voice of the small self, the ego. The ego wants manageable tasks. It wants a to-do list it can complete so it can feel proud. Meditate for 10 minutes. Check. Be kind today. Check. The Bodhisattva vow shatters that model entirely. It redefines the entire purpose of the spiritual journey. It says the purpose of seeing the light is not to congratulate yourself for having seen it. The purpose is to become a bearer of that light for others. The purpose of your own healing is to become a healing presence in the world. The vow is not a burden of outcome, but a commitment of intention. It's a decision made anew in every moment to let your own awakening be for the benefit of the whole. It shifts the fundamental question of your life from what can I get to what can I give, from how can I find my happiness to how can I participate in the end of suffering. It is the decision to turn your enlightenment into empathy. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, what it would feel like to hold this intention. Not as a crushing duty, but as a gentle orientation. As you go about your day, what if your primary question was, how can I be of benefit here? Don't try to answer it. Just hold the question. Feel the subtle shift in your energy, your posture, when this is your compass. Take a breath with that intention, and another. So Alex, with a trembling heart, decides to try. They leave their meditation cushion, the vow a secret flame in their chest, and they walk into the world, ready to save beings. They see their friend, Sam, stressed and overwhelmed with work. Alex, armed with newfound wisdom, immediately offers advice. You should try this mindfulness app. You need to set better boundaries. You should really learn to say no. Sam's face tightens. They feel judged, preached at. The conversation ends awkwardly. Alex sees a homeless person shivering in a doorway. Their heart aches. They fumble for $1, press it into a cold hand, and walk away quickly. A knot of guilt, pity, and powerlessness tightening in their stomach. The suffering is everywhere. It's messy, complicated, and relentless. Their attempts to help feel clumsy, ineffective, like throwing confetti at a forest fire. Alex is exhausted. This is not the beautiful, serene compassion they imagined. Alex is operating solely in what Buddhist wisdom calls the relative truth. This is the conventional world, the world of you and me, of cause and effect, of suffering and joy, of separate bodies and separate minds. It's the world of the cave where the shadows are very, very real to the prisoners. It's the realm of stories. I am a success. I am a failure. I am helping. I am being helped. It is the realm of 10,000 things, all seemingly distinct and solid. In the relative truth, compassion can feel like a frantic, draining, and ultimately hopeless effort to fix an endless series of broken things. Alex is ready to give up. This is when they meet a teacher, or perhaps simply reads the right book, or sits in deep silence until the truth reveals itself. They discover the missing piece, the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is the sun outside the cave. It is the profound, direct perception of emptiness, or shunyata. Now, let us demystify this word. Emptiness does not mean nothingness. It does not mean life is meaningless. It means that nothing, no person, no object, no feeling, no thought exists in and of itself as a separate, permanent, independent entity. Everything is interconnected. Everything is in relationship. Everything is a fleeting pattern in a vast, flowing, intelligent web of existence. There is no permanent you. There is only a constantly changing process, a river of thoughts, sensations, and memories that you have mistakenly labeled as a solid self. Let's return to our ocean analogy. The relative truth is the world of waves. Each wave has its own unique identity, a towering, powerful wave, a small, gentle ripple, a wave that crashes dramatically against the shore. They rise and they fall. They seem separate. They compete for space. A crashing wave suffers its own end. The ultimate truth is the nature of the water itself. The deep, still, boundless, interconnected ocean from which all waves arise and to which they return. No wave is ever truly separate from the ocean. Its form is temporary, but its essence is the ocean itself. From the perspective of the ocean, no wave is ever truly born, and no wave ever truly dies. There is only the ocean, expressing itself momentarily as wave. The Bodhisattva, through deep meditation and insight, realizes this in their very bones. They see that the one who suffers and the suffering itself and the one who helps are not three separate, solid things. They are all part of the same, seamless reality. This is not a cold, intellectual idea. It is a living, breathing experience of fundamental unity. It is the end of the sense of a separate self, and with it, the end of the separate self's burdens. And so, the Bodhisattva learns the most exquisite dance. They hold the relative truth in one hand and the ultimate truth in the other. They are a master of duality and non-duality at once. With the relative eye, they see the suffering of their friend Sam, the pain of the homeless person, their own frustration. They feel it fully. They do not bypass it or spiritualize it away. The pain is real in the relative world, but with the ultimate eye, they see the vast, silent, luminous ocean beneath all the turbulent waves. They know that no one is fundamentally broken. They know that Sam, the homeless person, and Alex are all made of the same water. This wisdom is their anchor. It prevents burnout. It turns frantic doing into serene, grounded being. Their action arises not from a sense of separation and urgency. I, a separate self, must fix you, a separate self, but from a place of profound connection and stability. It is the ocean calming its own waves. This is perfectly embodied in the great Bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokiteshvara, known in China as Kuan Yin. The beautiful, terrifying, and profound myth says that she worked so tirelessly, listening to the cries of the world, that the sheer, overwhelming immensity of the suffering caused her head to split into 11 pieces. But from this shattering, from this total breaking of the limited self, 11 new heads emerged, allowing her to hear the pleas from every direction, in every language, from every being. And her 2 arms shattered and multiplied into 1,000 arms. And in the palm of each hand was an eye, symbolizing the perfect union of wisdom, the eye and compassion, the helping hand. She could now reach out to comfort all beings, everywhere, simultaneously. This is not a story about a supernatural being. It is a metaphor for the transformed human heart. When you operate from the unity of the 2 truths, Your capacity is limitless because you are no longer limited by the small self. Your ability to listen and help multiplies exponentially. You are no longer just Alex trying to help Sam. You become a conduit for compassion itself. Your own small head, your limited perspective, shatters, and you see with the eyes of the whole universe. Alex begins to understand. They stop trying to fix Sam. The next time they meet, Alex simply listens. They put away their phone. They make eye contact. They don't offer solutions. They breathe, and they allow Sam's pain to exist in the space between them without judgment. They hold it as the ocean holds a wave. And in that silent, non-judgmental space, something profound shifts. The friend feels truly seen, not fixed. And for a moment, the cave feels a little less dark, a little less lonely. This is the first taste of true Bodhisattva action. As Alex continues on the path, they encounter a crucial and often misunderstood distinction. It's a trap that ensnares many well-meaning people. The Tibetan teacher Churgyam Trungpa Rinpoche gave it a jarring, unforgettable name. Idiot compassion. Idiot compassion sounds nice. It's always agreeable. It's conflict averse. It's the smile that hides a well of resentment. It's the yes that comes from a fear of being disliked. It is the parent who cannot bear to see their child cry, so they never set a boundary, creating a tyrant. It is the friend who listens to constant complaints and never speaks a hard truth, enabling a cycle of victimhood. It is the person who stays in an abusive relationship, mistaking their endurance for love. Idiot compassion is not compassion. It is spiritual cowardice. It is a shadow of the real thing. It is, at its core, a lack of compassion for yourself and a profound disrespect for the other person's capacity to grow, to learn, to be strong. It says, in effect, you are too weak to handle the truth, and I am too weak to deliver it. True compassion has a backbone. It has the courage to be fierce. It is clear-eyed and wise. It can say a loving no. It can set a boundary that causes short-term discomfort for the sake of long-term healing. It is willing to be the villain in someone else's story for a while, if that is what their ultimate freedom requires. Imagine that mother grabbing her child's hand to stop them from running into traffic. Is that a soft, agreeable act? No. It is fierce, immediate, and unambiguous. It may hurt the child's wrist. It may make them cry. But it comes from a love so deep that it is willing to cause a moment of distress to save a life. That is true compassion. It is a sword that cuts through the knot of codependency and enabling. And this leads us to the non-negotiable, absolutely essential foundation of the entire Bodhisattva's work: self-compassion. You cannot give what you do not have. If your own well is dry, you have only dust to offer a thirsty world. The Bodhisattva is not a martyr. Martyrdom comes from the ego, from a story of being the special one who sacrifices everything. It is often a disguised bid for recognition and praise. It leads inevitably to bitterness, exhaustion, and what we now call compassion fatigue. The Bodhisattva, grounded in the ultimate truth, understands that the one who is helping and the one being helped are not separate. Therefore, caring for yourself is caring for the world. Filling your own cup is not selfish. It is your first and most fundamental act of service. It is how you keep the conduit clear. Think of the safety demonstration on an airplane. It is a perfect, literal instruction for the Bodhisattva path. Secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others. This is not a metaphor for selfishness. It is a metaphor for effectiveness. If you pass out from lack of oxygen, you are of no use to anyone. You become another person who needs to be saved, another problem. Alex learned this the hard way. Their initial attempts to help left them drained, irritable, and secretly resentful. They were running on the ego's battery, which depletes quickly because it is based on a story of being the helper. Now they understand. They take time to rest. They practice saying no to things that drain their energy. They forgive themselves for their mistakes and their limitations. They are learning, day by day, to be a gentle, compassionate friend to their own wounded, struggling, beautiful human self. This is not a deviation from the vow. This is the vow in its most immediate and practical form. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. And you, Alex, are the first sentient being on that infinite list. You start there. Your own heart is the first cave you must return to with light. Find a comfortable posture. Close your eyes. Bring to mind a recent moment where you struggled, where you made a mistake or felt inadequate or were hard on yourself. See that version of you. Now imagine placing a hand on your own heart. Feel the warmth of your touch. And silently, gently, offer yourself these words or your own. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I accept this struggle as part of being human. May I learn what I need to learn, and may I find the strength to begin again. Breathe this intention into your heart. You are not off the hook for your actions, but you are releasing the hook of self-hatred. This is the foundation. Rest here. So, what does this enlightened activity look like when you take off the meditation cushion and put on your work shoes? You don't need robes. You don't need a title. The cave itself becomes your monastery. Your office, your kitchen, your daily commute, the supermarket checkout line. This is your field of practice. This is where the vow is made real. The Bodhisattva is not a remote figure on a mountaintop. The Bodhisattva is the parent, reading the same picture book for the 10th time, but now doing it with full, rapt attention, feeling the weight of their child in their lap, listening to the rhythm of their breath, completely present in that tiny, infinite moment. That parent is a bodhisattva. The bodhisattva is the cashier who looks a weary, distracted customer in the eye and offers a genuine, "I hope the rest of your day is peaceful." In that moment, they see the human being, not just the transaction. The bodhisattva is the CEO who, faced with a choice, decides to invest in employee mental health and living wages over a slight, temporary bump in the stock price, understanding that their company is a community of beings, not just a profit machine. It is in the profound practice of active listening, giving someone the rare and sacred gift of your complete, uninterrupted attention. Not planning your response, not waiting for your turn to talk, just listening with your whole being. In that space, you are holding a lamp for them, allowing them to hear their own truth more clearly. You are not the guide. You are the space in which they find their own way. It is in the small, anonymous act of kindness, letting a car merge in heavy traffic without resentment, paying for the coffee of the person behind you, not for the recognition, but for the sheer, secret joy of adding a moment of unexpected grace to the fabric of the world. These are the threads with which the Bodhisattva mends the world. And now I invite you to experience the ultimate alchemy of the Bodhisattva heart. It is a meditation practice called Tonglen, which means giving and taking. It is a practice that actively transforms compassion from a feeling into a force. It may feel counterintuitive at first. We are conditioned to breathe in good things and breathe out bad things. Tonglen reverses this. It trains the mind in fearlessness and genuine love. Let's try it together. Settle in. Feel your body in the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Step 1, resting in openness. First, simply rest for a moment in a state of openness, of stillness. Touch upon the ultimate truth, the vast, sky-like nature of your own awareness. Let your mind be like the open, clear sky for a few breaths. Step 2, working with texture. Now, bring your attention to the breath. As you breathe in, visualize breathing in something you find difficult but manageable. Perhaps a dull ache, a feeling of heaviness, or a dark, hot, sticky quality. Breathe it in as a dark smoke or mist. And as you breathe out a quality of relief. A cool, bright, light, spacious feeling, like moonlight or a fresh, cool breeze. Breathe in hot, heavy darkness. Breathe out cool, bright light. Do this for a minute just with this texture. Step 3, for yourself. Now bring to mind a place in your own life where you are suffering. A specific pain, fear, or anxiety. As you breathe in, consciously breathe in that specific suffering, your own fear, your own loneliness, your own self-doubt. Welcome it in as dark, heavy smoke. Direct it right into your heart with fearless compassion. As you breathe out, send to yourself all that you need: peace, confidence, joy, healing. Send it out as radiant, cool, bright light. Surround yourself with this light. Breathe in your own pain, breathe out your own healing. You are the first sentient being you are saving. Step 4, for a loved one. Now, bring to mind someone you love dearly who is struggling. As you breathe in, visualize breathing in their specific suffering, their sadness, their illness, their fear. Take it all in as dark smoke into the compassionate, transforming space of your heart. As you breathe out, send them everything they need to be happy and free. Send them peace, health, and comfort. Imagine them surrounded and filled with this brilliant, healing light. Breathe in their suffering, breathe out their relief. Step 5, for the world. Finally, expand your awareness. Out to your city, your country, the whole planet. Breathe in the collective suffering, the violence, the fear, the hatred, the ignorance. Do not be afraid. Your heart is a crucible for alchemy. Breathe it all in as a vast cloud of black smoke. And as you breathe out a vast wave of peace, of understanding, of compassion, of safety. Envelop the entire world in this brilliant, loving light. Breathe in the world's pain. Breathe out the world's peace. and gently let the visualization go. Return to the natural breath. Rest once more in the open, sky-like nature of your mind. Feel the aftermath. You have not taken on suffering as a burden. You have used the transformative power of your own awakened heart to change the poison of suffering into the medicine of compassion. You have been a filter for the world's pain. This is the Bodhisattva's secret work. And so we return. We return to the cave. Alex is there. They are back in their life with its screens and its schedules and its noise. The shadows still dance on the wall, but Alex is different. They have seen the sun. They know the shadows for what they are, flickering illusions. But they no longer scorn the prisoners. There is no condescension in their heart. They sit down quietly beside their fellow humans. They don't shout, "You're watching shadows." You're fools, they understand the comfort of the familiar. They understand the fear of the light. So they simply sit. And when the moment is right, they might share a story. They might ask a gentle question. They might offer a glass of cold water. Or most often, they might just sit in silent, solid, compassionate companionship. Their own inner light, a soft, steady glow that makes the cave a little less dark, a little less frightening, a little more like a place where awakening is possible. The journey from the cave is not an escape from the world. It is a deeper, more authentic, more courageous, and more loving engagement with it. It is the vow to become a bearer of the light you have found, not to blind, but to illuminate, not to save in some grand, final sense, but to serve in this present, humble, sacred moment. The Bodhisattva path is not a distant ideal. It is the breath you take for yourself in a moment of stress. It is the patience you find in a long queue. It is the forgiveness you offer a loved one. It is the boundary you set with love. It is the secret act of kindness. It is the willingness to listen. It is the courage to see your own beauty and your own pain with a compassionate heart. It is the next conscious, compassionate choice you make. So, what light will you carry?